the party master on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.
The fact that you're hearing my voice right now means that you survived the Heroes Weekend. And we say big ups to all our heroes and those who are making their presence felt in their communities, doing good work. Congratulations to all those who got national honors and awards. You know, for the first time in a long time, I didn't get a chance to watch the ceremony. Unfortunately, I was bogged down in some other work at home, and I didn't get a chance to watch it. But we say congratulations to all those who were given national honors and awards. Morning, DJ Audley. How are you doing, sir?
Up and ready.
All right, up and ready. It's time now for headlines across the bridge here on Bridge 99 FM to the world. And let's take a look at today's Jamaica Gleaner. And here's a headline that we thought we'd share with you. Thompson Hera confirms MVP track club departure. In a departure from her earlier statements, Jamaican sprinting star Elaine Thompson Hera has confirmed her split with the MVP track club, confirming reports first carried some time ago that she had parted ways with longtime coach Stephen Francis. Thompson Hera, in a media release, said that she has commenced her preseason training independently and will continue to train on her own while she finalizes all aspects of her setup for the upcoming season. She said, in light of an abundance of requests from my fans and concerned Jamaicans, I want to assure everyone that I have begun my training independently and will continue to do so while I finalize all aspects of my team for the upcoming season. She said, I want to thank everyone for their support and express appreciation to those who have reached out in concern. And she says, I remain committed to representing my country and to lead with courage and grace, as I'm aware that I inspire young women across the world who have dreams and who dare to see those dreams come to pass. All right, let's take a look now at the Jamaica Observer newspaper here in Jamaica. We have this headline, terrifying. One word, terrifying. Woman says she saw fellow congregant's throat being slashed. And this is a story written by Rochelle Clayton. And it says, coming out of Montego Bay, the chilling scene of a fellow congregant's throat being slashed sent one woman scurrying from Pathway International Kingdom Restoration Ministries in Albion, St. James on Sunday night. The woman, who asked not to be identified by name, said she was about to join her son and daughter inside when she witnessed the barbaric killing. And the story continues. Let's just get it together. She says, I was outside waiting to go in when I saw the lady's throat being slashed. I made my decision to leave, she told the Observer, as she hurriedly removed 2 bags containing her personal items from in front of the premises gate yesterday afternoon. She says, it was intense. When I saw blood and the young lady fell, I said, this is not for me, and I walked away. I could not stay. I couldn't. What pushed me away, as a matter of fact, when I started to put one and one together, I saw 2 lady church members jump the fence. So I said, no, this can't be right. And those 2 were normally close to the pastor, the woman continued. The story is there. And it's in the Observer. You can get much more once you tap into that portal. We also want to swing over to our friends within the region, and we go over to Trinidad and Tobago, where there is a policeman who is in a spot of bother and will know his fate later on today. Cop accused of murdering man to learn fate today is the big headline in the Trinidad Guardian newspaper. After spending over a decade on remand, a police officer accused of murdering a man from Laventille is expected to learn his fate today. High Court Judge Hayden St. Clair Douglas is expected to deliver his verdict in the judge-alone trial of PC Anthony Sylvester, who's accused of murdering Sheldon De Vignes at his home at St. Barb's Road in Laventille on November 9, 2009. And those are just some of the headlines that we thought we'd share with you. If we swing over, since we have a little bit more time, to Canada, there is a story that's coming up courtesy of the CBC. New mayors elected in historic victories in Calgary and Edmonton. Alberta's two major cities are set to make history in their mayoral races after Monday's municipal elections across the province. And there are some new names that are being put forward, and they will be serving for the next term. It's over there on the CBC. That's all the time we have right now inside of our headlines across the bridge, making it now 20 minutes on the downside of 6 o'clock. There's a whole lot going on in our country and in our world. We say good morning to our friends over there in St. Thomas. And we watched and saw that developing story on the weekend. Thankfully, two young ladies who were kidnapped, it seems, by one man have been recovered alive. And we give thanks for that. Right now, we say good morning to our friends in St. Thomas. Right now, it's 20 and a half minutes after 6 o'clock. Did I tell you guys about this radio host who is on air right now in the United States of America and has declared, it has now gone viral earlier this morning when he got started on his talk show program. He says, you know what? Let me just make it very clear. I caught COVID on purpose. Yes. He is regarded as a conservative radio host. His name is Dennis Prager. And Dennis was on air this morning saying, hey, listen, listeners, I'm working from home. I caught COVID on purpose. So obviously it caught my attention. I said, let me do a little digging into this one, because really, he would have gone out there and caught COVID on purpose? He says, he tested positive for the coronavirus infection last week, and he claimed to have caught it on purpose, but he has a reason for doing so. He says he wants to develop natural immunity, and that is why he went that route. He says, I'm broadcasting from my home because I'm not going into the station as I have COVID. And he said that this very morning, on the Dennis Prager show. I was tested positive last week, and I have been steadily improving. He added that this was something he had hoped for the entire time. Yep. Because he says he prefers to have natural immunity than vaccine immunity. So, everybody's startled when they hear the news. So he says, I've engaged with strangers constantly, hugging them, taking photos with them, knowing that I was making myself very susceptible to getting COVID-19. Well, he says he's improving. I hope he makes it through this passage, and we'll be A-OK on the other side. He says at no point was I in danger of hospitalization, and he feels that he'll be okay. He's conservative, and some people call him a shock jock in some instances, but that is what he has done. He went out hugging, kissing, and doing everything, just mingling with people, obviously not wearing any mask or anything like that until COVID struck. And he says, yes. Can you imagine? Like he goes, yes, that's what I wanted. Yeah, so he wants to develop natural immunity, and as a matter of fact, he doesn't want the vaccine immunity. Another story that came to my attention, which is being discussed at the highest levels in the United States and in places like South Korea and in Japan, who are allies, and not being discussed a lot in North Korea, though, because they're the ones who did the act. They fired a submarine-launched ballistic missile, and that is causing some consternation in the countries we mentioned earlier. North Korea has fired a submarine-launched ballistic missile from its east coast into the Sea of Japan. according to the South Korean military. The launch has been reported officially by South Korea and Japan, and is the latest in a series of weapon tests by the country. So Kim is just going ahead and doing his thing, and testing and testing and testing. The United States is not happy about this, but they have not taken any drastic action yet. In fact, since President Trump demitted office, I haven't heard much from President Biden in terms of any form of dialogue per se with Kim over there in North Korea. But he went ahead and fired off another missile, this time coming straight from a submarine and landing off, you might say, off the coast of Japan. There must be some tension in that region right now, I suspect. But we hope that things will subside and, in fact, even get better. We are joined by Senior Superintendent of Police, a very busy lady, but she always finds time for us, and we're appreciative of that. Good morning, Stephanie Lindsay. How are you today?
Good morning, Richie, and good morning to your listeners.
Thank you so much. First of all, a lot has happened over the past several days in this country, Senior Soup Lindsay, and most of it saw the police out there working hard and getting results. And we want to, first of all, commend the JCF for the hard work that they have put in over the past several days. Can we have a round of applause for them, please?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
It's not always that we have reasons to say that, and when we do, we want to highlight it. First of all, what can you tell us in terms of the mood in the camp right now? You have had some successes.
Yes, and we've had some success, and we are very happy for the outcome. I mean, when you have two children going missing, under the circumstances, and when we are able to work alongside our partners and our volunteers and community people to return those two children home, it's a good feeling, because the outcome could have been quite different. And I'm sure that part of the reason was the quick way and way in which the resources were mobilized, persons got on board, or the community engaged in the process. So we are very elated about what happened. Very happy for the family. It
really was a good look, Senior Soup, when you see the cooperation and collaboration between the security forces, and we must also highlight the JDF who partnered with you, but even more so the members of the communities who came out in their numbers. Commissioner Anthony Anderson said somewhere in the region of 450 people, for instance, in St. Thomas at one point in search of these kids. It was good and a very harmonious arrangement, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, the community came together. Persons were just coming. Persons just wanted to support. And I mean, like you mentioned, our partners in the JDF, we came together. Like, we collaborate on a number of incidents. But in this was just a very different kind of operation, where you see everybody just want to be a part of it. They wouldn't let up. I mean, the area that they were searching was a very tough terrain, but persons were just going and going and going, because they just wanted to do whatever was possible to get these kids home safely.
Can you tell us anything in terms of the state, the condition of the kids at this time? What can you tell us about their recuperation?
All right. So we know that they are getting good support medically and psychologically. They are being supported. The Child Protection and Family Agency is very much a part of the collaboration and the care, and the medical team over in St. Thomas. They are doing a very good job to ensure that these kids, they recover very quickly. We know it will be a process that they will have to go through, but presently we are satisfied that they are getting the best care that's available.
And the big item, obviously, is the fact that we still need to get this young man, Davian Bryan, into custody. Are we making any further progress? And what continues here on? Today in particular, will there be more searches? What is happening over there in St. Thomas?
Yeah, we continue to search for him. I mean, we have to find him because based on what happened, especially in the second incident, we don't know what his plans are, where he's going to strike next. So I know that we are doing everything to find him. We have got information about a couple of sightings. And one of the things that we want to do is that we have circulated his image. We don't want any prank calls. Now is not the time to joke around. So if persons, we don't want them to call, because if we get information that he's somewhere, we're going to go searching for him. So we want to tell persons not to do those prank calls, but we want people to help us look for him. We suspect that he may still in the parish, but he could be anywhere else. So we just have to continue the process, because we have already sent out an advisory to parents to make sure that they are overseeing their children, and to make sure that they're indoors and they're in a manner that they're not vulnerable to being attacked by this individual, because we don't know where he is and what his intentions are.
Right.
We also encourage him that if he knows, to make himself available to the police. He can go to the nearest police station or go to a trusted person who he believes will take him in safely. One of the things we don't want to happen is for the community to get to him before we do.
I remember when I saw Assistant Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith on one of our news portals mentioning the fact that persons were throwing off the police with erroneous information. I was very, very angry at that. I wonder if persons involved in that kind of thing, Senior Soup, Lindsay, would they be Confederates, be regarded as Confederates of the person that you seek, or is it just straight up prank? What do you think?
I don't think so. There are times when there are set of people who are very insensitive. They're insensitive about situations, so they see it as an opportunity to create mischief, I call it. So, we ask persons not to, because when you're searching for somebody, especially when you're searching for the children, and when you keep getting these information and you have to be pulling resources, sometimes we don't know if people are trying to pull you away from the target. But, I mean, we are trained. We know these things happen. So when we get the information, we kind of assess them, and we decide, how we proceed based on what we get. So, but we really want persons not to do it, because it can really make matters worse.
A lot of persons that you would have seen out there with their cutlasses in hand and sticks and stones, whatever they could get their hands on, and you get the feeling that if they get to this man before the police or the security forces do, that he might not be taken in alive. What do you say to those individuals?
I would want to say to the individuals that if they see this man or they catch this man, to not to harm him, to take him into the police. I know that the mood of the community is one that if they catch up with him, they may want to take things into their own hands. But I just want to assure them that what we'd love for them to do is to take him in. We'll prepare the case, we'll put the matter before the court and have it dealt with before the court. We don't want them to get involved in poetic justice, or to them it's jungle justice. I know they're angered by the situation, but we don't want to create a crime and to create a problem to solve a problem.
What's the latest on Montego Bay, coming out of Montego Bay in relation to that matter of the church and activities in the church that also saw the security forces very engaged on the weekend?
Yes, so that matter in St. James, we know that a number of persons were taken into custody. The children were handed over in the care of the Child Protection and Family Service Agency. And I was told that all the females were released yesterday except for one that remains in the custody of the police. The leader of the church, among other members, are still with the police. They are probing the matter. They have gotten their accounts from the different persons who were there, and they are now moving to see what charges are to be preferred, what is the evidence that's available coming out of that incident.
We wouldn't be surprised if murder is one of those charges. Well,
it's a possibility because two persons were killed.
Yeah. All right, Senior Soup, we thank you again. We commend the security forces, in particular the police and the soldiers, and we hope that you continue to gain successes in your activities and your duties. Thank you so much for accommodating us, and you have a wonderful day.
You're welcome.
All right, take care. Senior Superintendent of Police Stephanie Lindsay speaking with us momentarily right here. In fact, for a few moments here on Up and Go. It brings our time now to 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 8 a.m. and this is Up and Go. You're on the bridge. You know, there's a situation in Haiti where gangs have in fact kidnapped. While the word kidnapping is seemingly so prevalent here in Jamaica, and we'll talk more about that later on this morning. But over in Haiti, some gangs have in fact kidnapped a number of missionaries, and their victims include 5 children. And that is not a good development at all. The Haitian gang that abducted a group of American and Canadian missionaries, now this morning they are stating how much they want as ransom for each of their release. So they have 17 missionaries and from both U.S. and Canada, as well as some children, as we mentioned. And this morning they're stating categorically that they actually want $17 million U.S. as a ransom before these missionaries are in fact released. So basically, it's like they're saying they need $1 million for each one of them that they have in captivity. The Justice Minister over there in Haiti is reacting, and we understand that the FBI has been made aware of this. What is going to be happening? I don't know. Do you think that the U.S. might be already contemplating how to retrieve those missionaries? I wouldn't be surprised. That's the latest development out of Haiti as we have it. There is a lady who is the recipient of the 2021 Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, and it was presented to her courtesy of President Joe Biden. Her name is Dr. Michelle E Richards-Phillips. She was born and raised in Jamaica. Then she moved to the United States some years ago, began a career in banking at Bank of America, where she started as a personal banker and moved her way up to bank account executive and spent a number of years in that position. Then she moved again by way of a promotion to vice president of mortgages, and she became the first female and first black woman in the position of vice president, and went up to number 1 in Bank of America sometime in around about 2006. And that is just by way of a synopsis. She is obviously a very well accomplished individual. We say congratulations to her, and we welcome our guest at this time, Dr. Michelle E Richards-Phillips. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good morning, Richie B. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Again, congratulations.
Yeah, man, it's an honor. It's an honor.
Yes, you have put in a lot of work in your chosen field, and you have accomplished a lot, and now you're being recognized for those accomplishments. We're proud of you. Let me go to the very beginning, though. When you made it to the United States, why did you go in the field of banking? Because that's where you started, right?
Yes, because I was at Bank of Jamaica. That's where I started my career, and then I moved on to Workers Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, after I left Workers Bank, I migrated to the U.S., and banking was just the next best thing that I said, you know what, let me go back into that. But they did start me from the bottom, you know.
Mm-hmm. And you worked your way up. What was it like transitioning in that new environment when you migrated from Jamaica to the US of A? How difficult was it?
Actually, it really wasn't that difficult, simply because I I am realizing now that the difficulty wasn't so much because I spoke it into being. Years before, I passed the Bank of America building and I said, when I move to United States of America, I'm going to work right here. It was right at the corner from where my mom lived in Lauderdale Lakes. And it's the same thing that I did at Bank of Jamaica years ago when I was at Holy Child High School. Big up Holy Child, of course. I was driving past downtown and I said, I'm going to work in that building. And that was the Bank of Jamaica building. So I believe in now speaking those things that are not so as though they are.
Yes. In a nutshell, tell us how challenging was it to continue to climb to the lofty heights that you have in fact attained? Was it difficult?
It was challenging. Difficulty is not a word that I use because I'm such a positive person. I always believe that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And now that even those days I wasn't saved and I was just going through the motions. The Jamaicans in Bank of America was really kicking butt at the time. And so, me coming in as a little Jamaican with a little pussy them is like, ooh, she, But,
Yes.
In the evenings I worked until late. I got up early. I had 2 jobs and I was just pushing it. And listen, Richie B, let me tell you something.
Tell me.
For your Christmas gift, you're getting a Bank of America business card. For your birthday gift, it's somewhere in there. There's a Bank of America business card. So it was just me. The 3-4 rule for me: once you shake my hand, you get my business card.
Yes. That was a clear strategy that you employed.
Yes, and God's favor.
When did you actually become the vice president, the first vice president at Bank of America, and how did you greet that promotion?
Humbly, I left the bank in 2010, so I think it was like 2.5 to 3 years after I started at the bank. So I started the bank in 1999 December. So I would want to say, fast forward maybe 2004, 2005, somewhere in that region. I was promoted to vice president.
Yes. Now, we're still going to fast forward a little bit to the recent award, which is the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. Now, that is, from where I sit, that is big. Again, congratulations. How did you take that particular award? I mean, that is huge.
I took it not just for me, but for my 3 girls, because they've gone through, Richie, believe me. I'm recently divorced, so when you're ready, you can drop off the Phillips.
Okay.
but I will still give my ex. But I to go full-time ministry, and everybody thought I was cray because you're making 6 figures, 220,000, 250,000 plus. You have a corporate card, you travel anywhere you want to go. You see Bank of America vice president doors open, and now you're going to full-time ministry. What's up with this? So I knew the Lord was calling me, and then when I was really hesitant to leave, then the market crashed, and they said, okay, we're going to give you a senior position in the foreclosure department, and I said I could not take it. So nobody could understand that, so many persons were being laid off. This is the second time you were supposed to be laid off, and they promoted you the first time. They're giving you another position, and you're saying, no, thank you, so long, bye-bye. This don't make no sense. But when you know there's a calling on your life, and you know that you know, listen, I just could not understand it sometimes because it was very embarrassing. I was criticized. I was ridiculed. I was selling $5 paparazzi on Facebook. if you anything goes, evangelist was doing it as job wise, and I think part of the reason I lost my marriage, not that my husband was a money grab or anything, but people just couldn't understand. But I knew God wanted me to go to the world and give back to the less fortunate, and that's what I've been doing back for Holy Child, for schools in Jamaica, all over the world. I've been traveling, but you don't know who is watching you, Richie.
Yeah. So as it is now, are you a straight-up minister, or are you an evangelist who goes out into different territories and spread the word of the Lord?
I'm an evangelist. I just came back actually from Belize, where I fed like 300 persons and baptized 18. Took a group with me, nine with me. I've been to Jamaica several times. I'm the one they always say, oh, you have to do the laptop and tablet. The first one I did was with the Prime Minister's wife, the Honorable Juliet Holness. And I'm an alum from Holy Childhood, so I gave back to John Mills All Age was where I started, then Holy Childhood Prep, then Holy Childhood. And, Pastor Christine picked me first. So, of course, in the first batch, I gave to them. And so I've been traveling the world, Turks and Caicos, Barbados. I remember I went to Turks and Caicos, and an NBA team saw what I was doing, and they let me shoot there. So, it just failed. Back to Jamaica and Peru. I don't even know how to spell Peru, Richie, but I'm good.
Yes. All right. So you see yourself continuing in ministry well into the future, I suspect.
Absolutely. This is my heart. This is, I hosted my birthday party for many years at the homeless shelter. I have myself experienced not homelessness, but my homes have gone into foreclosure many times, because what I always tell people, be careful of the ministry that you take on, simply because whatever ministry you take on, that's where the enemy is going to attack you first. And so I had a few downtime and losses, and I went through a lot, through this transition, but now I'm in a very good place. God has blessed me. God is just moving mightily and allowing me to go to the different countries and being a blessing. Fiji, several places I've gone, you'd never believe it. I was playing hopscotch with the kids in Fiji.
Oh, boy. Wow. Must have been fun.
Yes.
Well, listen, again, we thank you for speaking with us. Again, we'd like to highlight how proud we are of all that you've been able to achieve, and may your life continue to be a blessing, and may you continue to be blessed going forward, so that you can continue to do good in all of these areas of the world that definitely are crying out for help. Thank you for talking to us, Dr. Michelle E. Richards, and we hope that all will go well for you in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Richie B. And I thank you and Bridge FM for having me on this morning. Up and go, we're gone, up, way up. And, this voice, I remember it from high school. And I just, I laud you for continuing to do what the Lord has called you to do, to be a blessing to us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Michelle E. Richards. Much love every time. It's now exactly 17 and a half minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. And, wow, we enjoyed that chat. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Richie.
Good morning. Hey, that's Ron.
It is Ron in Mobile, man. Wagwan.
Wagwan, my brethren. Everything good?
Well, I don't know. Mobile not really so good, but we're alive, bro.
Yeah. Trust me. We've been monitoring the stories. I carried a story from the Observer newspaper under the heading, I think, terrifying. And a lady was giving the chilling description of what she saw when a member of the same church, which is being referenced in this conversation, when her throat was slashed. It is a troubling time.
Indeed it is, Richie, and I want to tell you something to what has changed. When it was last week, I took that lady twice during the week last week, the lady whose throat was slashed. It's just unbelievable. When I saw the picture yesterday of the person it happened to, I was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. But yeah, that's the reality.
You actually took her as a passenger down there in Montego Bay?
I did, Richie. It's just unbelievable.
Were you aware that she was a member of this church? Was there any conversation?
No, not at all. She was just a very nice passenger who, was going about her business, and I happened to.
Seems like a young lady. It's not looks like maybe 20s or something, maybe 30s.
Yes, more like 30s. Yeah. It's just unbelievable. But it is one of the realities that we have to face. I think in the search for whatever it is that people are searching for, they sometimes end up in the wrong place. Which is unfortunate. But,
that from the look of things seems to be exactly what happened. She ended up in the wrong place and lost her life in the process. It's really sad. We'd like to express our condolences to those who lost their lives down there in that incident, and in particular to the young lady's family who you mentioned you actually carried as a passenger recently. Very, very sad story indeed, Ronald.
Yeah, it was. It was this morning before I was coming out. I was just praying them up because. In times like these, only prayer can help. So, this morning I was praying them up, and it's just really, really sad. But I guess we still have to continue, and that's how it is, man.
Yeah, we have to carry on, as they say. And the other story coming out of Eastern Jamaica in St. Thomas with the kidnapping of those two young ladies, those children, really.
Exactly.
Thankfully, they were recovered. We talk more about that in a short while from now with a high-ranking member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. But a lot is going on that is really not pleasing. And it's like we're going backwards instead of forwards in these instances.
Yeah, Richie, one of the things that I've come to realize that we get up everything and we talk about the corona, and we have not, for a nation, really discussed the psychological effect that this corona is having. And until we get to that place where the psychological effect is really, really looked at, we're gonna suffer all of these things for time to come.
So you're saying that some of what you're seeing in our society might very well be, as a result of the psychological impact of coronavirus on our psyche.
Yeah, Richie, I don't have the empirical data, but anecdotally, I really, really think it is, and I stand to be corrected, but that's how I see it.
It requires further thought, and we will look deeper into that. At this time, we want to be talking to a young lady who is known in her family and closest circles as Kimberly Kuvili. But in the world of entertainment, we remember her having been second place winner in the Magnum Kings and Queens of Dancehall competition. And we remember that she was signed to a label and to Destiny Sparta's label for some 3 years. But this same lady has recently taken a turn in her approach to music and her conviction. And now she's singing for the Lord. We're talking about none other than Destiny Sparta, who's my guest on the telephone at this time. Good morning, Destiny.
Morning, Richie B.
By the way, you've dropped the Sparta and you're now Destiny. Is that correct?
Right. I go by Destiny the Matriarch. Yeah, just because I have to have something there in the YouTube search engine for it to come up. Yeah, along with the Destiny.
So it's Destiny what?
The Matriarch.
The Matriarch. And that is because of the turn that you've taken in terms of your musical career. You're now singing for the Lord. When did this happen?
Well, I got converted last year, June, July. I got converted in June. I got baptized in July. I recorded some songs thereafter, but I haven't been putting much focus on music. I released a song recently, God Never Failed Me. But really, I am working on a candle business, a scented candle business. That has been my main focus more than music since my conversion.
But you've not given up on music. You're still doing music as well. That's what you're saying.
Yes, I haven't given up. I can't give up on music because that is something that is innate. You know, I'm born with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to make a joyful noise unto the Lord. Me used to go and bad in a dance hall, so no, definitely I have to go hard and go on for God.
I remember you from the Magnum Kings and Queens of Dancehall, and in fact, there were persons in my close to me who were carrying you to win that particular year.
Yes.
That experience would have helped you to gain a lot of confidence and so on. But I'm interested to find out, Destiny, the matriarch, how did the conversion come about? What really happened that led you to this new path?
Well, to be very honest, Richie B, I was going through a lot. I used to smoke and drink like really, really hard. The man them in at the rum bar have nothing for me. When you smell me from afar, you can smell rum.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I started using fentanyl, which is a weight loss pill, but it made me high. And I got hooked on it. So I was always drinking, always smoking. It reached a point where even weed, I never used to smoke weed. I started smoking weed. And if I didn't have any weed, Richie B, I would cut up the stem of the weed, roll it in Bible leaf when I don't have any Rizla, and smoke it. It was that bad.
Wow.
No, I remember one Saturday I was on the road whole day drinking. And in the night I came home, and for some reason I said, I'm going to sleep with my mom. And I went beside her, and I didn't feel well. And I said, Mommy, pray for me. And she prayed for me, and she also played a prayer. It was a Cindy Trim atomic prayer. And the way how my body started to react is like there was an entity inside that wanted to get out. It was being disturbed by the prayer. And I said, no, something really wrong here, so.
Strange feelings.
So the following morning I went to church. No, every week my mother invite me to church. I never look. Me can't bother with church. Dance all me want and rum. But after this experience, I said, no, I'm going this morning. And there was an altar call, and I was the first person there. And the pastor laid hands on me, and it was an experience that I've never had before. An entity actually left. I screamed and fell back and hit my head. And then I just felt this release. And since then, I haven't smoked or drink anything. All of that gone. And I said, something? It just put me in a different frame of mind and said, no, God is very real. And it's time for me to give my life to God. I had a music video that was to come out. I told the person who produced the song and everything, said, scrap that. I'm done. I'm going to serve the Lord. Yeah.
This was a decision that was taken, it's not something that you were even contemplating, it seems. It's just something that happened based on that experience.
Yes.
Did you have difficulty, making up your mind, considering whether or not you'd be able to earn the same kind of money, get the same kind of notoriety as you would have in dancehall, or those considerations did not even appear in your mind?
It did not even come. I just said, this is it. Because, I wasn't even making a whole lot of money from music.
Yes.
So it has seasons, especially during that time. It was COVID. COVID came around, and, I made my money from stage show. No stage show was keeping. So,
right.
It didn't cross my mind. I just made up my mind that I got time now.
Yeah.
Me jump and race the devil enough. No a time for God.
Ah. And this is obviously a fairly recent decision that you took, because you mentioned COVID, which is what? It's about a year and a half now since you've been converted?
Right. Yes.
How challenging has it been? What has it been like? What has the journey been like for you so far?
To be very honest, I get a lot of spiritual attack. I go through a lot of spiritual attack. Everything is not smooth, but I am strengthened. I've never felt a strength like this before. Like, God is with me all the way, and that is more comforting than anything else.
Have you been able to take those fans who were supporting you from the dancehall arena with you? I mean, are they giving you support?
Yes, definitely. I used to do some videos on Instagram just to encourage people, and I did get a lot of support, and I got people who came into my DM, even from the same dancehall circle, who say, you know, they sometimes feel like they want to give their life to God, but they don't know what they're going to do because dancehall is the only thing they know and is used to.
Yeah.
And I'll give them some encouraging words. But I've disabled my account for a few weeks now, and I'm using another account with not much followers.
Okay.
I'm just on a down low right now.
Okay, got you. Now, you in all of this, you decided to start a business. We understand, Beauty by Destiny. What by Destiny? What can you tell us about that?
It's Scented Beauty by Destiny. It's a scented candle business. I make candles that look like desserts. They are like sundaes, ice cream sundaes, corn flakes, Fruit Loop.
Really?
Yeah, cake, donuts, cupcake, you name it, I can make it. If you have an idea of something that you want, I can bring it to life.
So they come in different shapes then, based on what you just described?
Yes.
And they smell good?
They smell really good. Even without having to light it, you put it in your house and the whole place smells.
Oh, that's fantastic. How well is it doing? And are you... are they available across the island, for instance?
I do deliveries through Nutsford Express. I don't have a physical location. You know, say I walk on the road and sell them.
Oh, really?
I had to bring yeah. Yeah, because I don't have a physical location, and, you know, sometimes you don't get the DM. I have to bring brand awareness by going out into the street with them.
Okay.
And people love them. I get a whole lot of support. So I'm grateful for that.
Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
And are you on like social media as Scented Beauty by Destiny?
Yes, it's Scented Beauty _by _Destiny.
Okay, Scented Beauty _by _Destiny.
Destiny.
So we can look you up and see what's going on there. All right.
Yes.
Well, listen, I wish you well in all the things that you're doing in your business and on your spiritual journey. Where do you see yourself going on this spiritual journey, though? Is it that you want to eventually, like, say, Marion Hall, formerly Lady Saw, establish a church and get into ministry, or just want to live a life in service to God? What's the plan?
I don't have a plan to be honest. I'm just going wherever God leads me.
Yeah.
So I don't have a plan just now. I'm just serving, getting to know him more and to build an intimate relationship with him.
All right. And so far, no regrets, eh?
No regrets at all.
All right. Destiny, great talking with you. Congratulations and best wishes.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's former hardcore dancehall entertainer, Destiny Sparta. All right, so what's the latest for those fans of Kanye West? We can tell you, we inform, we educate, and we entertain. Kanye West has legally, you know what I'm coming with, he has legally changed his name to Ye. Okay, noted. That happened after a Los Angeles court approved his application. Or as Spice would say, So in August, if you recall, he formally requested to change his name to Ye, pronounced Ye, but it's spelled Y-E, after filing legal documents citing personal reasons for the name change. Well, he has now successfully dropped his full name, Kanye Omari West in favor of this long-time two-letter moniker, Yeah. The 44-year-old first alluded to his plans to change his name to Ye when he tweeted, formerly known as Kanye West, I am Ye. His application has been officially approved by the LA Superior Court Judge Michelle Williams and will no longer have a middle or last name. So, from here on, please call him Ye. Yep, that is the latest, ladies and gentlemen, on Kanye West. But in all seriousness, not that that story wasn't serious, because that is one of the most popular rappers in the world who's now changing his name. Prince actually did it. Remember, Prince did it, and he just used a symbol. But at the time, Prince was having problems with his record companies. I don't know what has inspired Kanye to do this. People are speculating as to whether or not it might have to do with his impending divorce. But I'm not too certain about that, because after all, did you notice that himself and Kim were out having dinner recently? Yeah, they were out together having dinner and were quite chummy. So there's more speculation that the divorce will not actually go through or go ahead, more than that there will be a divorce. So that might not be the issue at stake, but the fact is he's now to be referred to as Ye. Now, there is a Jamaican who did very well in the United States, and he passed on the weekend, and he is highly regarded and was indeed a great and accomplished African American. Some would prefer if we just said Jamaican American. And lots of tributes are being sent out to former U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell, who died of COVID-19 complications at age 84. It's interesting that he died of these complications, although he was in fact fully vaccinated, but we understand that he had some other issues, including multiple myeloma, a type of blood cancer which had made him more susceptible to COVID-19 symptoms. And we understand too that he also suffered from Parkinson's disease. So we are very saddened at his passing. And President Joe Biden referred to Colin Powell as a dear friend and said that he embodied the highest ideals of both warrior and diplomat. Former President Bush referred to Colin Powell as a great public servant and a family man and a friend. He was such a favorite of presidents that he earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom twice. Yeah, so he definitely is highly regarded, and you would have known that he was the first African-American Secretary of State when he was appointed in 2001 under Republican President George W. Bush. We can also tell you that here locally, we have seen where our Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Leader of the Opposition Mark Golding have also published tributes to the late Colin Powell, separately, obviously. We have lost a remarkable and loving husband, father, and grandfather, and a great American, said his family in their own tribute. The Prime Minister here said, on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica, I extend heartfelt condolences to the family of former U.S. Secretary of State General Colin Powell, as well as the people of the United States. And for his part, Mark Golding said he too was sad at learning of the passing of Colin Powell.
Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.